That was really very, very inspirational. It's my pleasure. Anita Engels, who will be joining me up here, has been an absolute critical member of the cadre staff since its inception. Anita also, probably now, maybe almost 20 years ago, was my teacher when I first got interested in doing something besides pushing people around. I went through a training on mediation, and Anita was my trainer, and she continues to be my trainer. She's just an incredibly awesome, vital part of our staff, and I think really continually brings out the best in us. And so Anita will be joining me for this presentation. And, in order to further Cadre's objective of encouraging the broadest possible access to the full range of conflict resolution options, and to honor individuals and organizations that build schools and communities that are respectful of cultural, linguistic, and class differences, we are pleased to present the Keys to Access Award. Cadre presents the Keys to Access Award to an individual or entity that has supported special education programs, early intervention services, and/or persons with disabilities, and has promoted the welfare of society and supported peaceful and welcoming communities, demonstrated the value of diversity in policy, practice, and perspective, encouraged cooperative processes among institutions in our society, supported collaborative relationships between individuals with the goal of achieving an inclusive society, promoted justice, equity, and respect for all individuals, embodied in professional and personal relationships those qualities that foster and support full participation and self-determination. Past recipients of the Keys to Access Award have included Dick Lash and Myrta Quadra, Mobility International USA, John Paul Lederach, the National Center for Cultural Competence at Georgetown University, Floyd Weatherspoon, the Honorable Robert M. Bell, and Sharman Davis Barrett. So Anita will now tell us about this year's recipient.
Thank you, Marshall. It's a special honor for me to say a few words about Michelle LeBaron as the recipient of this year's Keys to Access Award. Michelle is the mother of 4, has practiced law and psychotherapy, and as the sheet on your tables tells you, is now director of the program on dispute resolution at the University of British Columbia. Her thesis for her master's in social work was titled, I think, Legal and Ethical Considerations in the Provision of Special Education Services. Great. In yesterday's keynote address, Bernie Mayer encouraged us to think of engagement as our operative stance when we approach conflicts that are ongoing, enduring, and stubborn. None seem more ongoing, enduring, and stubborn than conflicts arising out of the differences based in culture and identity. This area has been at the heart of Michelle's investigations, experiments, thinking, and practice. She exemplifies engagement, perseverance, and optimism. I think she spoke well for herself. We saw that. She just demonstrated for us her commitment and passion for inclusivity, justice, equity, and respect for all individuals. She loves conflict, she told me last night, or at least loves the opportunity for the positive change that accompanies conflict, whether hand in hand with it or close by. The focal points of Michelle's academic research and scholarly writing converge in works whose titles link conflict and culture. Her love of words and imagery and metaphor, and her skill at weaving beautiful, meaningful stories into her work have given us as dispute resolution professionals, practitioners, students, and scholars access to new ways of thinking about the confluence of conflict and culture. She has brought clarity to our thinking about the processes that are needed to bring unrepresented voices into our conversations. She does not believe that if you build it, they will come, applies to disenfranchised members of our communities. She encourages us to seek out the voices missing from our conversations and ask ourselves, how can we join them? She does not pretend this journey is easy. She does propose it is worth the risks, the struggles, and the mistakes that we will inevitably make if we sincerely endeavor to reach across our differences to find ways to live and work together in an increasingly complex world. I loved what she said, what she quoted of Nicole's poem, "I would not change you for the world. I would change the world for you." We have to do that to make inclusive communities. In recognition of her personal and professional contributions to the principles that underlie the Keys to Access Award, Cadre is honored to present that award for 2011 to Michelle LeBaron. Hope you're welcome. Join me.
Bookends. These are more books to write. Thank you very much, Marshall and Anita and Phil, for remembering that workshop 2 decades ago. That's astonishing. And thank you all again for the astonishing work that you do. I wish you all the best in it. Thank you.